Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This being word from Naruto was Garou. Now, I could take this two different ways, being he either just became him through nature or just Garou's reincarnation. Or, well, he has Garou's, I'd go with reincarnation. And the way I would go at reincarnation is basically, Garou would, if you guys don't read the One Punch Man manga, Garou pissed Saitama off to the max just now. This is a major spoiler for the manga, or if you're anime only. Yeah, Garou just killed Genos in front of Saitama. So, yeah. Now, I'm not saying that, Saitama's for sure gonna win this fight in the next chapter or two, but at some point, Garou would probably have to die. I guarantee you he's kind of a monster by now, but I assume with human DNA, he at least does if he still has at least a little bit of human DNA left, he would at least have some age gap. So let's say if this battle doesn't kill him, he die of old age at some point. Or if the battle does kill him, he dies in battle. Boom. But I prefer just being more of a Saitama fan. I hope Saitama would kill him, because I did like Genos a little bit. Not a little bit, I like him a lot more than Garou, but yeah. But, yeah. So, let's say Garou dies in battle, and his spirit would basically reincarnate into a baby Naruto. So, now with this, Naruto's life goes pretty similar until he's 4 years old. But now Naruto kind of has a different kind of grip. He's used to being called a monster, he's being called a demon, basically everything. Mainly Demon Fox. Naruto went in the forest and began thinking about this because by no means is he dumb. And, what they can think of is probably just the QB. He's never been called a QB outright, as that's illegal, but the Demon Fox only placed, the only thing that happens is the Demon Fox attack. Coincidentally, it's on his birthday. He's thinking really hard, and thinks he may be the Demon Fox's reincarnate or its child. With these thoughts, he's even thinking out loud, and the Nine-Tails does actually speak up to Naruto, saying, "Neither of those are the answer. I'm sealed inside of you, for the Hokage sealed me in you." And I'm guessing the third Hokage put an order out that no one's allowed to tell you or say it outright, or else they die. Naruto was confused on who his voice was, as he even began thinking. It got really hard to the point where he dragged into his mindscape and would meet the Nine-Tails. Nine-Tails began kind of just making fun of Naruto, just kind of being all a bully or just an asshole to him. But Naruto is used to this, and she just calls the Nine-Tail because it says, "It's all your insults. They're trash as hell. I've been called worse." Naruto sat down, saying, "But if I have his weak-ass insults, I'll be leaving." Naruto began walking away, and the Nine-Tail has never felt such disrespect from a 4-year-old nonetheless. So yeah. Naruto left his mindscape, and began thinking, saying, "If they want to call me a demon, they want to call me a monster, I'll show them what that looks like." He then went back to his landscape, saying, "Hey, Nine-Tails, you hate humans, right?" And Tails nods, saying, "Yeah, what about it?" And he says, "Well, I don't like villagers, or at least a majority of them. How about this? Lend me your power, and I'll become a monster that they actually fear." Nine-Tails, with him actually being a bit different points of view towards Naruto right now, he would just smirk, calling Naruto an arrogant little brat, saying, "Get stronger first, and I'll consider it." Naruto felt a little offended, but then just sighs, saying, "Alright then, I'll get stronger my own way. The academy isn't doing shit for me." Naruto at night snuck into basically just some random library. He ended somebody's shop and stole just tons of scrolls. That he ran into the forest, far out to the point where it's not even in Konoha anymore. It's in Konoha owned territory, but it's not in the Hidden Leaf Village. The Hidden Leaf owns that area, but they didn't move on to it and populate it yet. It's actually an isolated forest area with a waterfall. It's kind of just a very luscious area, but it's hard to grow plants there. But there's a large abundance of animals there. So, yeah. So, yeah. So Naruto basically just began training at this place, using the scrolls and everything. But then we fast forward. Also, I forgot to mention one thing. This one, the whole story is going to be pushed back to Shippuden. Basically, just because I don't think kid Naruto would be too good with his abilities. He wouldn't be too good, but his body wouldn't be able to handle a lot of the abilities I want to bring in. So everything basically starts when they're all like 16. And then when he's 19, that'd be the real Naruto Shippuden. So, not 19, he's 18, that'd be the real Naruto Shippuden. But yeah. Or he'd start at 15, but then with the story, he'd turn 16, and then when he's 18, that's when Naruto Shippuden begins. Yeah, so he trains in this area for decades, and eventually he wandered around, wondering where Naruto was. He hasn't seen Konoha for 2 years. I assume Hiruzen doesn't look for Naruto that often, even though like the person like, oh yeah, we don't know where he is, but there's this mass theft going on. And Hiruzen already call it as probably Naruto. Because Naruto by no means is a dumb or weak kid. Like in the academy, he's even beaten Sasuke a few times, and Sasuke seemed to be pretty even in everything. So yeah. With this, Hiruzen wanders around, so eventually he kind of wandered in all Konoha territory, hoping that Naruto at least knew what was going on in his territory. And one places where they couldn't grow plant life, or at least they would like, I guess the tree, like, and the area wouldn't make a good living area, but had good scenery. Hiruzen was there to kind of saw Naruto just under a waterfall meditating, but also punching the air rapidly, but also practicing his stances. Thinking to himself out loud, saying, "Feet shoulder width apart, and you punch at this point." He got punching, and he just watches Naruto train. He just stood there for about an hour before Naruto said, Are you just gonna keep watching me? Yeah, I knew you were here before you knew where I was." And with that, Hiruzen's like, "Oh, so you can sense me?" And he says, "No, I can smell you." Naruto says, "You smell like Tabasco and Ichiraku ramen." Hiruzen threw Naruto. Naruto says, "A cup of ramen." Naruto caught it, and well, that Hiruzen says, "Well, how much you eat out here? Here's this. Teiji told me to bring it to you." You threw Naruto down a recipe book. That's basically just how to make homemade ramen. This is Naruto. This one Hiruzen says. He didn't even let me read it, saying that you're his best customer. Naruto smirked, saying that man always liked me. Naruto jumped off the waterfall. At this point, Naruto's been in the forest for like 5 years. At this point, like Hiruzen searched all Land of Fire, but then he started like searching all Konoha own territories and Land of Fire. Even a few small villages that are allied with them. Even the Hidden Sand. So yeah. So it took 5 years. But at this point, Naruto's 9 years old. Hiruzen didn't know Naruto had a few scars on his body, asking where Naruto got them. He says he trained in the waterfall and fighting wild animals. And the animals acknowledged him as king of the forest. So, yeah. But Naruto eventually had finished going through everything Hiruzen bought him. And Hiruzen even says, "Here's a bit of money in case you want to go to Konoha and get some clothes that fit you." Naruto nodded, thanking Hiruzen, and Hiruzen then left. And Naruto doesn't hate Hiruzen. He doesn't hate anyone. He hates how they villainize people. Basically, he kind of just like, well, he hated how they villainize people. Basically, from the Nine Tails, he kind of just thought about how Kushina was villainized because she was Nine Tails in Cherokee, but also because she was an Uzumaki and she looked different. Then Kakashi's father, how he was villainized for sacrificing his life for his teammates. Not sacrificing the mission for his teammates. Him and Kurama kind of go through like Konoha history that they know between everything. I'm not even worth the Uchiha Massacre at this point, and can already tell this is probably just a Konoha orchestrated thing. Because he doesn't know the Uchiha origins from Kurama. So Naruto honestly kind of shifts his goal from hatred to actually hating how people are villainized for doing the right thing. So yeah. So Naruto's basically just, kind of adopting a new personality. One that he loved from the point of view of Itachi, Sakumo Hatake, Kushina, Mito Uzumaki, basically anyone that he can, even Madara Uchiha. Basically, just he adopts a all-for-one personality, or a one-for-all personality, alongside having the world be basically just fit and perfect for every little person living their exact dream. But also that what you cannot control doesn't determine how people should treat you. That's kind of what he believes in. But he does it in a more radical way, hence how Garou acts usually. But yeah. But should go into Naruto when he's 15. He's going to approach Naruto the year before, saying next year's getting exams. I guarantee you've been training your chakra, as basically everything around here has been destroyed on a superhuman level of strength. And Naruto says, "No, I barely use chakra. I only use it to water walk and tree walk." And here's when I realized that Naruto had just done all this with just pure raw strength. Like there's a whole cliff that's been thrown into the air and landed. And he does realize that Naruto's honestly just a superhuman at this point. So yeah. So Naruto's basic abilities: so super strength, super durability. Like he's at the point where probably Chidori can barely pierce him. Like he can dig into his skin, but can't come out of his back. Like his body is just a tank. He has poison resistance, heat resistance, and electricity resistance. Hence the Chidori reference. Super speed, as he can move about as fast as lightning. Like he can move fast enough to run and kick a lightning bolt into pieces. That's just how much strength and speed he has. So yeah, this also comes into his reflexes and senses. As his reflexes and senses kind of give him around a 3-to-1 Sharingan level of just sensing around the area. It's like probably like an average Uchiha Jonin. So it's like Sasuke's mother was average Uchiha Jonin. So Yeah. He has super stamina and super endurance. Basically, just kind of the same thing, I guess. But yeah, basically, he basically has a limitless supply of energy. But then he has the Nine Tails as a backup battery. Something that Nine Tails going to reach an agreement. Basically, out of the nine tails of chakra that Nine Tails has, Naruto can access four tails by will, but he can access five, but that's going to take him out for a few days. So yeah, and Naruto doesn't like missing a day of training, so he refuses to use up to five tails until his body can handle it. Then he also has accelerated development and enhanced adaptability. Well, those kind of count the same development, so yeah. He also has Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, which is based on repelling, nullifying, and redirecting, contrasting basically Bang's original martial arts style that he had used. And he has Whirlwind Iron Cutting Fist, which kind of just razor sharp wind pressure attacks. He also has freestyle combat in case people are like a little too weak to handle his raw martial arts skill. And then he also, a lot of this kind of just comes from just the scrolls he has, but then also kind of combining the flow of water that he watches, but also just kind of the rocks he tests out and uses, but also his natural wind affinity release. So yeah. Then he can also do these martial arts, and he also fights like an animal, hence his watchdog style. This style enhances his basically speed and his senses. Strength isn't really a big player, but having good strength would make the style a lot more effective. So yeah. Then he has Whirlwind Water Stream, which is a combination of Whirlwind Iron Cutting Fist and Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist. And the main attack he has on this is Roaring Aura Sky Ripping Fist, which is kind of just shockwaves that he can send out in the air. If he hits you, it can just send a shockwave that destroys your internal organs. Then he has Fist of Exploding Heart, which is kind of what Bang used to use. It's honestly just the complete opposite of Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist. Yeah, those are all of his current abilities, besides basically Tank Top Tackle, Great Fajin, Mega Massive Fajin, and After Images. So yeah. He also has Mimicry, but yeah. But then we go to this one, Naruto's in Konoha. Then he's in Konoha, he arrives when he's 15, and he kind of just wearing basically just, well, a black shirt, orange pants. I guess his black shirt isn't like as tight as Garou's is, but still kind of like just like a regular black shirt. But then he has these orange Ambu pants, and he just wears kind of just regular sandals. And we can Konoha, well, he goes to Academy, and everyone question who he is. When Shikamaru would see the hair, and then Choji, Hinata, Shikamaru, and Choji would identify who this is, but Shino has an instinct. But Shino doesn't say anything, saying it's Naruto. Everyone's eyes widen as they've never seen Naruto. Like he showed up to like 1 month at the academy and then left. None of them walked in saying, "What the hell are you all staring at?" But he's looking at everyone else besides Shikamaru, Choji, Hinata, and Shino. He's always been on good terms with them. But yeah. But now with this, Naruto's taking a seat and had to be like Sasuke. Sakura kind of told him, like Sasuke, like Naruto, move, you idiot! I don't want you here. And Naruto looked at them, saying, "Another word, I'm tear your damn jaw off." Immediately, Sakura kind of got nervous, saying, "Who do you think you're talking to?" But suddenly, Naruto picked up Sakura by her neck and then pushed her to the ground and smacked Ino to the ground, telling them both to bug off. Now they got nervous and walked and kind of just crawled away. And Naruto was sitting in his seat. Actually, they all do the getting exams. It came to taijutsu. It came to raw strength. Naruto was like picking up. He has kind of just use his raw grip to hold onto a tree and throw it through the air, hundreds of feet up. Saying, "Does that count?" Iruka's jaw dropped, just nodding his head insanely fast. Then speed. Naruto just seemed to be moving faster than anyone else can even see, creating after images as well. And here's who's watching all this happen. So yeah. It basically came down to intelligence, and Naruto seemed to actually ace it pretty easily. Actually, his intelligence is very close to Itachi's. So yeah, so also just comes from his knowledge of nature, and then also just comes from the scrolls he stole. Not just his knowledge of the world he's explored a bit, but also just basic raw education. Then he kind of passes every little test they give him, but when it came to taijutsu, Hiruzen actually tells Iruka, "Do not test Naruto on this." Iruka asks why this, and Hiruzen says, "Naruto spent his whole time away mastering martial arts. No one here can contend him." Hiruzen even thinks that not even Hiyashi can contend Naruto. He kind of tells him to give Naruto an immediate double S rank. On Hiruzen order, well, he would do this. By the end of all the tests, even when it came to kunai, shuriken, everything, Naruto's score came down to roughly around an Ambu captain score. Hiruzen says, he hasn't done a single mission yet, so... We'll wait for the Chunin exams. That'll determine how I view him. But so far, he has no sense of teamwork. So with that, well, here's in terms of scores, and Naruto scored Rookie of the Year, easily. Which couldn't piss off everyone. His first day in the academy back in 11 years, he's Rookie of the Year. But yeah, Sasuke and him still fought, and they lost. Well, Sasuke lost, easily. So yeah. But also, Naruto getting an A rank on ninjutsu, he can use a bit of water and wind release. So, yeah. He can use 2 natures, he passes. Plus, he knows at least 3 jutsu of each nature. Plus, Naruto actually has a summoning animal being actually, well, a toad. He summons Gamaken. He summons toads because he kind of just acknowledges toads around the world, and then, around this area. Then, also, well, Kurama kind of told him about this, like, toad summoning, and then Naruto tried the summoning after Kurama kind of directed him to do it. So, yeah, he summoned Gamabunsa, but then beat up Gamabunsa, so then kind of made a pact with Gamaken right after. So, yeah. Naruto Team 7 is formed, the same team, Kakashi would arrive. And actually, well, Naruto's scored pretty high. He's the highest scores in Academy history, but may not his intelligence, but everything else checks out pretty well. So yeah, he asks Naruto his goal. Naruto then says, doing people, kind of just to take away villainization of people who didn't deserve it. And so Kakashi asks what Naruto means. But Naruto says, I'm not going to say too much because our current guest here. He said Sasuke, but Sasuke didn't notice it. It was honestly not even paying attention to Naruto. But that's when Kakashi kind of just ask Naruto, well, give me an example then. Naruto says, I'll go with you. Sakamo Hatake. Yeah. Sacrifice the mission for the sake of his teammates. That's something he was villainized for, the point where you even led to him committing seppuku. Well, honestly, he had the right idea. Probably the bravest man in Konoha history in my eyes. They're sacrificing something we view so highly just for your teammates, only to ridicule you later on. He has better control than me. If it was me, I'd have killed anyone that I heard villainize me. But I'm still working on my temper, so well, that's one example I can give. Kakashi can help us kind of smirk at this, saying he has the right idea, but the wrong intentions to do it. But he knows he has to work on that. Then Naruto eventually would go on to basically his dislikes, basically everyone else anyone that opposes his likes. His goal is basically his likes. His dream, his dream is his likes. And his dreams, goals, and likes are basically the same thing. Well, his dislikes is anything that opposes those likes, goals, and dreams. And Sasuke and Sakura say the same BS as in canon. But yeah, I go to the next day where it's the bell test, and Naruto arrived late, knowing that Kakashi would probably just be late, so he already ate breakfast and everything. Because he needs his team to perform at their highest ability, he gave them food, they eat, Kakashi arrived, they're ready for battle. So, yeah. But Kakashi arrived versus Naruto kind of just doing like a one-arm push-up, but he's doing it on 2 fingers instead. Like a one-arm push-up, but a handstand formation on 2 fingers. So yeah. But Naruto's making position was just ready for a fight. So yeah. This is when Kakashi immediately said go. Well, Naruto said this becomes somewhat of a team exercise, so we kind of just told Sasuke and Sakura to hide in the forest. He'll push him to push Kakashi to a good opening, and they can attack him there. About halfway through combat, Kakashi didn't even close his book. He didn't even pull his book for Naruto. He was just ready to pull out Sharingan immediately, and him and Naruto began swapping hands. So yeah, Naruto's skill at this point, his stats are already through the roof. And Naruto's already using level Anbu Captain, while Kakashi's one of the best Jonin in Konoha. I would put Naruto, his intelligence is a bit better, but not better, but Naruto is roughly around canonical Shippuden Kakashi level. He's around that level. So yeah. The only thing is that he has better strength, he has just better physical ability. But in terms of chakra usage, he that kind of puts him below everyone else. So yeah. With Naruto and Kakashi swapping hands, Kakashi is even being overwhelmed by Naruto, it's shocking him. Even when it comes to reflexes, Naruto and Kakashi seem to be matched, and Kakashi's using a Sharingan. But Kakashi's kicked in the chest, because Naruto just caught it as a substitution, kind of just blitzed it by just kicking his arms over. They kind of broke them, and then caved in Kakashi's chest with that same kick. But then that it was revealed to be substitution. But Naruto just stepped to the air, calling out where Kakashi was, and then kind of just like a signal that Kakashi wasn't looking at Naruto; he was just hiding. But Sasuke and Sakura were looking at Naruto, and he did the signal, and then pointed to where Kakashi was. Sasuke and Sakura proceeded through the forest. Sakura throwing explosive kunai inside the tree, and Sasuke just blowing a fireball right at the explosion as it happens. But it actually burned Kakashi's arm a little bit. Naruto taking advantage of Kakashi's burnt arm, actually grab him by it, and kick him right in the face. I just kind of squeeze Kakashi's burnt arm, which is actually just hurting him a lot more. Kakashi can kick him in the face with this, Sasuke Sakura secrets and grab the bells, and then they kind of just, Kakashi just says that they pass. Yeah, he holds his jaw as he spits out a little blood, kind of like just looking around, pulling out spitting out blood and pulling it back up, saying, "Alright then, and I'll report to Hokage for your success. In fact, you're my first Genin team that's actually able to go on a mission with me. Good job." And Naruto, you seem to take most of the action, but you know when to include your teammates. Also, did you know this is teamwork exercise? Or not? It's pretty simple. But just because I wanted to work in a team to do missions, I let them help me. Now with that, Hiruzen just told about the mission, how Naruto acted towards it, and Hiruzen is shocked. So yeah, at that time, they're doing D ranks, even occasional C ranks. They even did one B rank just because Naruto demanded it. And Naruto did most of the mission by himself. So yeah, and I was like, all right, we need to plan out. We need to assassinate this guy in. Naruto walked out. Naruto walked by them like a minute later, holding the guy's head, saying, "Done." I don't even question how he got in there. He came in there suddenly and killed the guy that he needed to kill. It was either just scare out of being a shinobi or kill him, and Naruto chose kill. So yeah. But with this, we head on to the bridge builder mission, and Naruto honestly isn't really too fond of Sasuna. He's fond of Sasuna making fun of Sakura and Sasuke though. Yeah. Now this we go into the Demon Brothers, which is the only important thing. Naruto can kind of sniff out Genjutsu, he can also sense Genjutsu. As his sensory, he already has senses just on his raw body comparable to a Sharingan. But then his sensory Genjutsu in combination with his senses kind of allow him to actually go on to basically almost compared to Byakugan. So Naruto can kind of tell there's Genjutsu, but also can kind of just sniff out that something is off here. As basically the sense is changing each time they walk around this tree, but it's the area is the same. I've done 3 times called it as a Genjutsu as instead of walking around for a bit longer. And Kakashi still Naruto good job for calling it out. The Demon Brothers emerge, and one of them ends up Naruto kind of blocks one of their attacks as his arm is cut. But even they just went around grabbing the guy by the neck and just crushing it completely, which actually killed him. And then the other one, Sasuke, just knocked out. He knows that Team 7 is kind of just too soft to kill anyone, while he isn't. So yeah. This thing interrogates Sasuke's demon brother, and Kakashi asks Naruto why he killed his. He says, well, for intimidation, but also because he knew Sasuke wouldn't kill his. Sasuke's too soft. So yeah. Now that he also asks Naruto if he's okay because he was poisoned. Naruto says, don't worry. I've been poisoned dozens of times in the forest. Actually, yes, by animals, and Naruto names like the most deadly animals in the forest, but he's still alive. Naruto says, and the healing factor of the 9 tails kind of just comes in pretty clutch for me. And Kakashi just sighs, saying, so he can already use his power, huh? Maybe that's the secret of his strength. And now there's going to Zabuza. And when it came to the mist, Naruto already sniffed the air, saying that this just has chakra sense in it. This is not mist. It's an illusion. So Naruto honestly just still uncovered their ears as he inhaled as much as possible. And then will immediately the blaze thrown at Naruto once the mist is gone. Then tried out a giant wind bullet that made out a shockwave. That would have ruptured Team 7's eardrums plus Tazuna's. But when he shot it out, it basically blew apart the blade, and Naruto caught the hilt. And then he kind of just smacked Kakashi back in the head, and Kakashi uncovered his ears, and then told him it was okay. Looking around the area, seeing basically the ground and Naruto a little bit cracked, some trees even have their bark snapped away. And he realized he heard Naruto kind of just saw Naruto blow something out. But he realized Naruto's shockwave from that air pressure was what did this. Naruto's basically just Uvugin, but with a bigger brain and also a better sense of fighting. So yeah. Now with this, Naruto showed on Zabuza and pointed out the guy in the woods telling Kakashi to fight him. That guy seems stronger. But Naruto says he can handle Zabuza himself. Sasuke, like basically Team 7 was kind of nervous about this, but Sasuke went with Kakashi to fight Haku. So yeah, now with this, Naruto and Zabuza being swapping hands, and Naruto is easily overwhelming Zabuza, which shocks everyone. But eventually Naruto broke Zabuza's arm and kicked him right in the chin. But he realized that Zabuza was honestly paying attention to Haku in the battle. He still had beaten Zabuza, but it turns out that Zabuza was not a typical villain, so he let him live. And Haku was the exact same way, trying to get to Zabuza instead of fighting Team 7. Naruto immediately pursues Haku, punching it, kind of like hitting him in the chest, trying to knock him out. Or just knock the wind out of him, and that made them pass out. Kakashi's like, Naruto, these are the guys who would kill. Why aren't you? Which is, well, they're good people, I can tell. We should leave them here for now. And thought they walk away, and well, they get to land of waves, where Naruto still threw a fit, but Naruto not just talking him out of it, kind of telling Naruto about his life and how everything goes for him, but how he views everyone as well. Kind of made Naruto get a different view on life, but also kind of realize that heroes don't need to exist as long as you can make yourself, well, someone that can live up to being called one. So yeah. Now with this, we go on to basically just Zabuza and Haku attacking again, but Zabuza has his blade all put together. So says, maybe you're stronger with a blade, who knows? But give me a good battle this time. And last time that wasn't even a good fight. That was the one win first slash, but Naruto easily just repelled the attack, and then Naruto being watchdog style, as Zabuza saw Naruto on all fours, splits around the area, hitting in the back with either just palm strikes, or even just like knuckle strikes, or elbow strikes, or knee strikes, one of the two. Or like before how I just named actually. And when the fight's over, Zabuza's on the ground panting. I'm covered in blood or bruises. He's not covered in blood, he's just covered in bruises. The shit hurts. So yeah, since Naruto's done, that was all that energy trying to dodge or anything. He's just too tired. Zabuza eventually passed out from exhaustion, and Haku tried to attack Naruto, even as he emerged from the ice mirrors. But Naruto easily just kind of grabbed Haku's hand and just broke it and kicked Haku in the stomach, knocking them out. I was actually shocked that Naruto reacted that quickly to Haku. So yeah. Then Gatsu's men arrive, and Gatsu began talking that hot shit. But Naruto didn't like it. He immediately just told Zabuza and Sasuke that they should get behind him for this. Smirked. You know how Garou took down like the tank top army? Naruto did that to these guys, but didn't take any damage whatsoever. By the time he's done, he looked at Gato, then said tank top tackle as he just hit Gato with it. But we hit it so hard that so hard that Gato's body kind of just blew up. So yeah. Naruto just surrounded by basically just multiple corpses and a destroyed body of Gato. Gato's body just kind of just busted open and mangled. So yeah. Naruto is telling them that he's met Konoha early, but he brings Zabuza and Haku with him. So yeah. They came Konoha early and usually ask Naruto why he came back early with himself and didn't. Did they die or something? Says, no, these guys needed medical attention first, so he brought them back early. Yurzen also sent some medic status on Haku, then they're put in Hindley prison until they're interrogated, where they give information on the hidden mist. Now with this, they want to talk to Naruto, and Yurzen tells them where to find Naruto. At around 4 hours, they get to where Naruto was. Shockingly, he's only 4 hours outside Konoha, but it took them 5 years to find him. So yeah. They're as well hidden, that's why this main reason as well, but it's 4 hours away. And so when they arrive, they see the whole area kind of just destroyed. Well, not the whole area, but a lot of areas, like parts of it are destroyed, but seem to be put together as well. Also see somewhat like a big tree house that Naruto lives in. Well, they thought he lived there, but they asked him about it, and he says, "No, I don't live there. So that's kind of just where I change." Then that's where he lives in the place behind the waterfall, saying there's a small cove there where there's a small bed. But yeah. Now with this, they actually ask Naruto if this is where he lives, not in Konoha, and he just nods. Now with this, Team 7 would arrive, and they should kind of ask us, like, Kakashi hasn't seen where Naruto lived. Hiruzen didn't show him. That's when Kakashi and Hiruzen are both able to confirm that Naruto at least has a decent opinion towards Team 7. So, Hiruzen will bring them to where Naruto is, and when they arrive, they honestly see Naruto bodying Zabuza and Haku all over again. Haku's going all out, and Haku is kind of just wearing more or less just like a regular shirt and shorts. Zabuza's just wearing the same gear he has, just not with all the bandages on his face or the executioner's blade. It's honestly just a raw tie jutsu battle. So yeah. But eventually, Team 7 had to be joining the battle with shocked Naruto, but yeah, they're here. But she had beaten all of them, but it was a bit hard to fight with all of them there. Now this, 2 weeks passed, the Chunin exam is announced, and then another 2 weeks pass, and now they're ready for the exam. The whole Kankuro thing never happened, because Konohamaru was actually with Naruto. So yeah. But eventually, when they do come across Team Gaara and Konohamaru bumps into Kankuro, Naruto just about him walk away. Before Kankuro stop him, Gaara just told Kankuro, don't do it. Kankuro asks why, and Gaara says, his bloodlust towards anyone, well, he can tell this guy has a lot of bloodlust. He can control it like Gaara. But Gaara just kind of compares Naruto to basically himself, but in control of every little thing he does, even whatever's inside of him, which kind of just concerned Gaara. So yeah, so they kind of found someone stronger here, and he could tell they're stronger than him. But yeah. Now with this, well, we go on to basically just Rock Lee attacking Sasuke, but instead of that, he attacks Naruto. But he went in for a punch. Naruto easily just dodged all of Rock Lee's strikes. But eventually, Naruto went for a single strike, which honestly just attack with his middle finger. Rock Lee thought he dodged it, so he got on his shirt, seeing that's torn in half. Well, not a shirt, but his suit. And just starts cut up it, beginning with Naruto's nail. And leaving a small graze on Rock Lee's chest. Naruto asked Rock Lee, did he even see him attack? Rock Lee says he didn't see it, but he felt it and jumped away. When Neji identified them, Naruto was eyeing Neji down the whole time, wasn't Neji stronger than Rock Lee, so he actually kind of just, used an attack that seemed very similar to Gentle Fist. But yeah, now this, when it came to the exam room, Naruto's intelligence being very close to Itachi's, he passed the exam. So, but he also helped Hinata to cheat, and then because Shikamaru and Chojo were lazy, he helped them cheat as well, but, yeah. Everyone else can do it in their own way. No, he honestly did it because he's faster than everyone else in there. But, yeah. Because he helped 3 people cheat, and the way he did it, he got 4 strikes instead of 5. And he knew this. Because that's why he's so risky with it. So, with these 4 strikes, Ibiki asked Naruto, would he intentionally get caught, or is he just not good at cheating? He says, it was intentional. Just to waste their time. And Yuki asks, waste our time, what do you mean? He says, because other people use their 5th strike, but no one caught them because they're busy watching me. Naruto smirked, and Ibiki says, smart bastard. But Naruto wasted the force to death with Sasuke, Sakura, and Shikamaru, Choji, and Hinata arriving, and they kind of talk to Naruto. But Naruto eventually would actually ask to see the clan's taijutsu styles. Shikamaru's like, my clan doesn't really have a style, but I can show you how I fight. And him and Naruto swap hands for a bit, and Naruto and Shikamaru decently strong, but pretty average at the same time. And then with Hinata, he copies everything Hinata does, but then uses a reversal on it. I think Hinata ways to improve her combat. And for Choji actually uses his raw might, but it's more like sumo wrestling and regular wrestling. That's kind of how Choji would fight to me. They're gonna copy that, telling Choji that he's really good, but Choji's slow. That's what makes him a bad taijutsu fighter. So yeah. Now with this, Sasuke and Sakura arrive, and then we go into basically just Naruto using the bathroom but being attacked. Not only is attacking, he just dodge all their attacks and cut their heads off with just one simple attack. The attack was him infusing his strength of chakra, but then using whirlwind rock smashing fist, or whirlwind iron cutting fist, that was it, and he cut their heads off with a simple motion. They didn't have the scroll he needed, so he walked away. So yeah. Now with this, we should go on to Team 7 when they would basically encounter Orochimaru. Now, next on the level, basically at this time, he's slightly a bit above he's slightly a bit above Shippuden Kakashi, actually a bit closer to Orochimaru's in power, kind of just almost an equal to him. But then you can also use around 4 tails of power, which Orochimaru is even to, according in Shippuden, so yeah. Because he blocks 4 tails Naruto, but yeah. But Naruto and Orochimaru begin swapping hands, and after he's kind of scared Sasuke and Sakura. As they fight, Orochimaru seems to find Naruto as an equal, and Naruto's shocked to see this. Naruto obviously has the strength and speed advantage and reflex advantage as well, but basically skill, speed, strength, durability, reflexes, and senses. But Orochimaru basically has basically the ninjutsu, the chakra control, basically. He just kind of has everything else besides the speed, strength, durability, and such. But yeah. So that's kind of how they're kind of equals in a way. But then Naruto decided to bust out at least 1 tail of power, then use one attack. One attack is something that Naruto's been practicing, or at least in this form. He then says, Mega Massive Fajin. And punches Orochimaru right into his stomach with it, sending Orochimaru flying into the earth around 12 feet down. So yeah. Then Naruto hit his up with the 1 tail's cloak, and then told him, let's go. It's in. How they walk away, wondering what that form is, but they don't question it. But now with this, we go on to Team 7, when they basically just come across Team Dosu now. But Dosu just using the sound wave in Naruto's ears, everybody can hear it. So he immediately just appeared, in front of Dosu, and tearing his arm clean off. Just taking all the pain, which allows them to actually hear where Naruto had went. They didn't realize he was gone. He had an after image with them. With Dosu on torn off, he just grabbed Dosu by the neck, demanding to know who sent him. Dosu doesn't give an answer, even if he's facing death. Not just threw Dosu at like a tree full force. And everyone would just see Dosu's body just splatter across the tree. Which shocked Zaku and Keen. Zaku immediately used a blast on Naruto, kind of like the giant shockwave blast. Before he could launch it, Sasuke would appear, stabbing him right in the hand. As his Sharingan runs around to Moy, he could see kind of where the chakra was building up. He had Zaku in the hand, and then Zaku had used it. He kind of just blew apart his hand. Zaku yelled in pain. And then Zaku tried to use the other hand. Naruto grabbed kind of just held his hand and squeezed it. Then his blast let out. Zaku blew apart his whole arm and didn't damage Naruto a single bit. So yeah, Zaku just dies from blood loss. So yeah. Yeah, so Dosu and Zaku are dead. Then we look at Sakura, who's fighting Keen. It seems to be a battle a bit closer in skill. Sakura was just not giving her a workout routine, but also Haku helping her a little bit. Pulled out Senbone, not pulled out, kind of countered one of the Senbone that Keen had thrown, got her across the face with it, and stabbed her right in the side with it. Then kicked her to the ground. Keen pulled the Senbone out of her side, but Blaze was coated in poison. Because Naruto is on the Force a lot, and he trains in the Force now. Not now, but trains in the Force a little bit. And kind of help Sakura start poison, helping her learn how to make poison. He already did it, but doesn't use it, so, yeah. But now with this, Team 7 would go on, basically just past the Force of Death, in the span of roughly around 43 minutes. Garou got there in 32, but still. But Naruto arrived, Garou actually has to fight Naruto. And just notice this, the one-tails Jinchuriki, right? Well, I'm strong as the one-tails with no effort, so I don't think you'd be a good battle for me. Garou asked Naruto what he meant, as Garou even kind of went into his hybrid form, but in control, actually. He's actually used a training under his belt. I assume he could actually do this with training. But Naruto immediately went into the One-Tails cloak, saying, "Can you beat this?" Garou realizes this form is actually surpassing the One-Tails in power. Garou just backs down from the fight, as Naruto disabled his cloak and walked away. Now with this, there's no preliminaries. After Fridays are up, they all come in, extract the bodies, extract all the genin. Because there's not enough people for the preliminaries. Or if there are, Naruto isn't included in preliminaries because he's a monster. So, yeah. But this Naruto's on meeting Jiraiya. And Jiraiya just tells Naruto that he knew Naruto's parents, even trained Naruto's dad. But under orders, they kind of just protect Naruto from the Shinobi world, Naruto's not allowed to know who his father is. And when Naruto heard to protect Naruto from the Shinobi world itself, he let Jiraiya keep it from him. He let him keep it from him. We tried to teach Naruto something, and someone got Mabunsa, and says, "Oh, Naruto, how are you?" As Gumbuta and Naruto got past, Naruto beating him up the first time they met. So, yeah. But I was like, "Oh, you already have something," and Naruto nodded, saying, "Yeah, my something is Gamaken." Like, "Oh, he's a smart one, but he talks weird." He says, "Yeah, just his thing." But now with this, we go on now to basically just what was it? Yeah, the one with the train, I guess. Jiraiya does actually try to ask Naruto about the Nine Tails, but not just the Four Tails cloak, saying, does this speak for itself? And Jiraiya nodded, saying, "Huh, what can I teach you? Ninjutsu?" He says, I'm already a decent user of wind and water release. Jiraiya says, we can actually work with that. Jiraiya began teaching Naruto Rasengan over the span of 1 month. Naruto got it down in a day. So, yeah. So after getting all separate Rasengan down in 1 day, and then taking another day to create it with one hand, then took another day to infuse wind into it. Shockingly, it took only a day to infuse wind into this. He trains 24/7. All in all, just has advanced, kind of accelerated development. So yeah, mostly he adapts to any situation that's combat or non-combat. So he did this relatively easily. Span of almost basically a week, he learned Rasengan and wind release Rasengan. But then also water release Rasengan. While now with this, Jiraiya began teaching Naruto basically every other nature he knew. Which is the only nature that Jiraiya cannot use is lightning release. Let me check this real quick. Yeah, that was right. The only one that Jiraiya cannot use is lightning release. So Jiraiya basically began teaching Naruto every nature he knew. And Naruto actually got along with these relatively quickly. Even like Sakuma Kakashi at least once actually pick up one lightning jutsu from him. So yeah. Naruto's a bit more interested in the Chidori thing. But Kakashi basically said it was only for Sharingan. But Naruto's already told since we're already surpassing Sasuke's Sharingan. So Naruto's not being copying hand signs day and night and just training with Chidori. And just forcefully control Chidori. So, yeah. By the end of the month, Naruto can already use 2 forms of Rasengan. And wind and water Rasengan, plus a normal Rasengan and a giant Rasengan. So, 4 forms of Rasengan. He also has the Chidori down, can almost forcefully control it. So, yeah. Then he mastered basically every nature. So, not mastered, but learned every nature release, including Yin and Yang release. And this is Naruto at the age of 16 now. So, yeah. Naruto's a monster. That's how you say it. And he even surpassed Jiraiya. Well, he's around, like, I would say, perfect Sage 100 level Jiraiya without using any of the Nine Tails abilities. And now his body is able to handle 5 tails. So, yeah, Naruto's first fight is basically against Neji in the finals. Because, well, I did say that there were preliminaries, but Naruto wasn't included in them. Like, a few people weren't included. Naruto being the main one, because he's on captain level Shinobi. So, yeah. Like, no one else here has the highest score as Naruto does. But, yeah. But Naruto fight against Neji. And Naruto even heard how badly Neji messed up Hinata. So, it's a Neji fight. When Neji uses Neutral Fist, Naruto's copying everything that Neji does. He analyzes it faster than Neji even launches it. Then copies the same movements and does it the same way that Neji does. As Naruto's getting the ability, basically, the flow of chakra. He's learning how it works. But eventually, with him not learning Gentle Fist perfectly, as he kind of copied it on a whim, they hit him in the heart with basically hit an attack and tried to kill Naruto with it. They also saw Naruto freedom place. Even everyone thinks it's chakra or see it, and Neji tried to destroy all Naruto's chakra points. But before Gekko can end the exam, Neji sucker punch right in the jaw, having his jaw broken. He sent flying across the arena, and he's on the ground. Everyone was over seeing Neji's face completely messed up. Gekko asks Naruto how he's still alive. That's Naruto says, well, 1, he cancels his flow of chakra before the attack landed. That's all he needed to do. Kind of temporary state of death. Kind of just put himself in a coma and then force himself to wake up from it. And then Gekko is just shocked by this. So, yeah. Naruto's given the win. Anyway, he walks into the stands. So, yeah. And actually, at this point, he's been training with Hiyashi for the whole 1 month, with his opponent being told to be Naruto. And he usually was the one to recommend that Neji train with Hiyashi. So, yeah. But now with this, other fights go basically per normal. So, yeah. So, now with this, we go on to just, well, Gaara going berserk over the "It's my blood" thing. But Gaara tried to run the arena in his hybrid form. Naruto appeared above Gaara, hitting him in the back so hard that he broke Gaara's spine. It can heal in a matter of time, actually, because Gaara's a Jinchuriki. Probably heal in a few hours. But Naruto brought Gaara down, talking to Gaara. And Naruto's going to give Gaara the old talking no jutsu, but in a bit of a tough love kind of fashion. Gaara being crying at this, and even told Naruto he experienced very similar things. It's just he didn't have the courage to run away, or not the courage. It's just he didn't know why, but he couldn't. Naruto told Gaara that anytime the Gaara wants, he can come back and train Naruto, and Naruto will help Gaara control the One Tails. Gaara kind of lay there crying and smiling for a bit. Touring and Conqueror arrived asking Gaara if he's okay, but Gaara says, "Yeah, my spine's broken, but the One Tails is healing it right now." This is not even hurt him at all, because besides the shattered spine, no, he actually calmed me down. This one Gaara just kind of smiled, saying he wants to sleep, though. And this Tori kind of let Gaara sleep, willing to let herself die, so Gaara actually sleeps in happiness. But not he hears him being impressed by Orochimaru and the first two Hokage. Naruto smirking, Naruto jumped in the air, and everyone had heard Naruto yell, "Odama Rasengan!" They slammed it right into the barrier and completely destroyed it. Or just yelled massive Rasengan. He landed right in front of Tobirama. In front of Tobirama asked Naruto if he really faced down Hokage. This Naruto says, probably not, or at least not in this form. But this can. This one Naruto suddenly turned into basically just, the father, kind of went into the Five Tails cloak. And Shushin didn't know that Naruto could control it. Kakashi or Jiraiya didn't report that to him. So yeah, but Naruto being fighting Tobirama, and it seems to be a bit equal in power. As Naruto in his base form is equal to imperfect Sage Jiraiya, who can box with most past the pain. So yeah. Naruto is still 16, so yeah. Naruto and Superhuman be in boxing. It's a very close battle. But eventually Naruto beat Tobirama, but eventually tore the kunai out of his head and just destroyed it completely. But then him and Hashirama being fighting, and it's a complete wash for Hashirama. He's easily beating Naruto. So yeah. But Naruto had a launcher tailed beast bomb, which blew away most of the wood release, and then he threw Hashirama's head with the damage being kind of revealing Hashirama's head. Inside of his head, because he's a very non-durable reanimation. Naruto destroyed the kunai, allowing them to basically just be stuck in place. And with that, he had Hiruzen beat Orochimaru in its base form, and Orochimaru is sealed. He had all this chakra sealed away, which almost killed him, but Kabuto appears having Naruto on the side and taking Orochimaru away. Naruto blew the kunai out of his side, but caught Hiruzen's corpse. Now Naruto is actually kind of like the one leading the funeral in a sense. He's the one that helped Hiruzen in his last moments. He's the only reason the Konoha won that skirmish. Even though didn't stand is there to just apologize for Gaara's father's sins. But now tried to basically get mad. Not to shut that shit down so quickly. It was shocking. So yeah. But now with this, we just go on to basically probably just I do see there being Sasuke's retrieval mission because Sasuke's main thing is that he feels very inferior to Naruto. He will probably leave of his own accord, really, but then find Orochimaru and them halfway through and just leave with them. But with them being a lot faster, they're able to hide a lot faster. And Naruto lost Sasuke's tracks at basically the valley of the end. So there's no Sasuke retrieval mission. They do find Tsunade to make her the Hokage, and that still happens, but Orochimaru has Sasuke, so let's focus on that first. But now with this, we should go on to the 2 years of training. The 2 years are up, Naruto came back at 18 years old, and Zabuza and Haku greet Naruto. Haku being now a special Jonin, and Zabuza being an Anbu captain. But Naruto's thrown a vest that symbolizes him as Jonin. But, Tsunade, Jiraiya was with Naruto as well, but Jiraiya seemed a bit different, but so did Naruto. His clothes seemed to be weird. Plus his hair was a bit weird. His hair was a very almost platinum blonde. But she asked Jiraiya about Naruto's clothes, and like Jiraiya even seems different. But Jiraiya says, well, they went on a training mission across the Shinobi world. What would she expect? Jiraiya says he mastered Sage Mode, so did Naruto. But Naruto unlocked the form that he just called Monster Naruto. So Jiraiya asked about this form, and Jiraiya basically describes what this form is. Naruto would fuse him in Naruto's chakra, making them one being. Not making him a Jinchuriki, but making him an actual tailed beast. Or making him a human and tailed beast fusion. Giving Naruto, if you guys have read DC Comics, if you know what Batman the Red Death is, basically how the Flash and Batman are one creature. Well, plus also the Batmobile and the treadmill, cosmic treadmill. They're all kind of one creature now. And how Gary Allen kind of Batman, the back of Batman's mind from telling him stop doing these horrible things. It's kind of just the Naruto and Naruto in that thing, but they're not doing bad things. Just Naruto's a complete monster. But with this, Naruto going in this form, he kind of fuses as close to his body as kind of fuses whatever he's wearing to his body. So Naruto kind of looks just like this now, just not as angry. So, everyone's going to question what Naruto's wearing. Naruto's like I can run clothes over this, but I cannot take these off. They're kind of fused to my molecular structure now. But it did make me a lot stronger. So yeah, as Naruto can summon up forth like mental power on a whim. So summon in all nine tails, even go KCM. Only thing is he still didn't meet Minato and Kushina, but it was a bit more brief. So yeah, but he met them both at once. Yeah, but Naruto had officially mastered all 5 natures, including Yin and Yang release, even obtaining Yin Yang release. Yin Yang, not Yin and Yang. So yeah, he's also a perfect sage. He's a perfect sage. Yeah. In KCM, his body, he doesn't even go he goes KCM, but he kind of gains like his chakra mask, which would be Garou's next advanced forms. Like this KCM, this fuse form basically. Well, I'll go over all Garou's forms real quick. Yeah, kind of just this thing in KCM 1, but then hold up, then also this thing right here. That's his KCM 2 form. Yeah, KCM 2 kind of puts him on par with the 10 tails. So, actually, with how strong he is currently. I would say KCM 1 puts him on par with the 10 tails, and KCM 2 is puts him on par with Jubidara. So, yeah. Naruto's just a beast. But then the Kage retrieval mission. In order to Jiraiya, like he said, they went on a training mission across the world. And Naruto even promised to train Gaara. So Naruto even went to the Hidden Sand training Gaara and mastered the One Tails with him. So Gaara doesn't lose to Sasori and Deidara, or to Deidara. He beats Deidara and then makes Sasori retreat. So they come partner with the Hidden Sand to actually track down Sasori, and they do just that with Sakura with them. Sakura and Kakashi and Naruto as our team just to find out where Sasori is. They find him, and well, they fight him. He dies, but before he dies, he gives all the missions that they had. Now with this, we go on to the Tenchi Bridge mission, happening at the same time, and which goes not much different, honestly, because they have Yamato, but Kakashi is not a chakra. The only thing is that they're using Yamato because he has water release. Then Sai because he's kind of just Yamato's temporary Anbu partner. But yeah. Also, Kakashi unlocked his Sharingan early. He unlocked it roughly around before he unlocked it around the Sasuke retrieval mission, but then has been training with it for the whole 2 years. So instead of obtaining it in the 2 years, Kakashi had a bit more time with his MS. But yeah, so as Kabuto would fight Yamato, they fight, and Kabuto actually is full Orochimaru right now. He looks how he does in the war arc. He's as strong as he is in the war arc too. Well, Orochimaru is a bit stronger than Kabuto, as he is a perfect sage too. He got Kimaru's body, but then found a way to cure the disease in the meantime. So yeah, after bite from Karin, or biting Karin bite after bite, and then also just a lot of late research. So yeah. But now with this, we should go on to basically, so I want to correct my statement. My statement was to put KCM2 Naruto on par with Jubito. Because I'm like, well, Jubito's out of control, that must mean he's stronger than Madara. No. Madara's stronger than Obito, which I had assumed Jubidara would be stronger than Jubito. So, KCM2 puts Naruto close to Jubidara, but more on par with Jubito. So yeah. On the other hand, Cosmic Naruto puts him above any being. But he will not unlock that for a very long time. Or if he does, he won't be using it for long. But yeah. But Naruto basically just fight Orochimaru when he emerges with Kakashi on his side. But they're easily beating Orochimaru still. Because Naruto in base form is still broken basically any character we've ever met. So yeah. He's on par with, I would say, probably blind Madara. Just he has eyes and better physical stats. But in terms of basically just he has better superior physical stats, but then when it comes down to basically just raw ninja ability instead of physical stats, he's more on par with Madara. His senses are more honed to be like an MS like thing. So yeah. But yeah, so Orochimaru's beaten, Kabuto's beaten, and then they find Orochimaru's base. Then they find Sasuke, or Sai found Sasuke, but then Sasuke almost killed Sai. But then Naruto and Sasuke box, Sasuke loses. Sasuke is dragged off to the Hidden Leaf with Kabuto in the Hidden Leaf prison. Then so on and so forth missions happen with not much difference. Until it came down to Naruto versus Kakuzu, or Kakashi versus Kakuzu. It happened. It's more Kakuzu losing most of his hearts to Kakashi until it came down to his wind one. But Naruto arrived just in time and actually kind of completely obliterated Kakuzu's whole body with one tank top tackle. So yeah. But then now for Itachi. Naruto wanted to fight Itachi and bring him to Konoha just to fight Sasuke. When they'll fight, he found Kisame first. He found them himself, basically. But he fights Kisame first. He does realize they recognize Kisame's strength, but tells Kisame that don't get out of the way, Kisame will die in this battle. Kisame kind of told Naruto, I dare you to kill me. Naruto says, alright, fine, you dared me, so I'll kill you in the harshest way possible, but in the quickest way possible. That's when the Kisame somehow kicked out of his hand, and then the Kisame kicked into the air full within his maximum height. Naruto jumped in the air, going into KCM2, saying, this attack will hurt. It's kind of just a low-level nuclear fission fist that Garou uses, a very low-level one. Once the attack basically the equivalent of a nuke is launched, but, hold up, pause. Okay, after thinking about it, Cosmic Garou's power may be probably not even as strong as a nuke, because that's low balling the One Punch Man area. I'd say probably as strong as a hydrogen bomb, but probably even beyond that, actually. But Naruto, a nuke level attack, probably not lowballing. Some attacks are strong as a nuke, some are stronger, but most characters don't have nuke level durability. So Naruto hit Kisame with a nuclear fission fist that's as strong as a hydrogen bomb and completely destroyed him. Because they were in the air and how high up they were, not much of the area down below was damaged, but mainly the clouds separate. Now when Naruto had landed, Itachi walked outside wondering what's going on, just to see Kisame's corpse, or its level, or some of the ashes and little bits of blood fall down, and sees Naruto, and then does recognize this as the Naruto Jinchuriki, Naruto Uzumaki. But Naruto told Itachi come to the Hidden Leaf, Sasuke wants to fight him. Itachi said no, and just begins to fight Naruto, but can't hit Naruto with any attack he throws at him, not even Amaterasu. But Naruto told Itachi don't make this harder than it needs to be. But after the fight, Naruto recognized that Itachi is kind of just sick. So not wanting to hurt him, he just honestly just hit him with just I guess like a basic freestyle attack, which kind of just like a basic kick to the solar plexus, which knocked him out. But Itachi Konoha, Itachi and Sasuke fight there. Before Itachi can die into the fight, and Tsunade would be in healing Itachi. But then Jiraiya would head to the Hidden Rain. He fights against the Pain. He beats most of them. But on his way out, he kind of just dies of exhaustion. As on his way out, he has to fight basically every shinobi in the Hidden Rain. Like he wouldn't interrogate or find Nagato, but he's out of energy, so he's running away. Whenever he had to fight every shinobi in the Hidden Rain, kind of just dies outside of it. And dies outside and dies outside close to the gates of Konoha just from exhaustion. So yeah. They actually have a funeral for Jiraiya, but Naruto now wants vengeance. But then so does Nagato. Nagato needs to find a new path of pain, and is actually able to somewhat reconstruct the path of Yayuko. So this meantime, as Naruto is prepping his revenge, well, as he has to leave, Almighty Push is basically casted, and Konoha is destroyed. Or that's what Nagato would hope would happen. But he looks up and just sees, well, Naruto kind of matching the force of Almighty Push with the one punch. But Naruto's fighting back down to the ground. His hand's a little bit bruised, but that's about it. There's a little bit building and slaps too, but not that much, like 3 or 4. But with that, the path of pain are all stirred down, and Konoha 12 arrive next to Naruto. On this, they all fight against paths of pain, but the paths of pain are just completely obliterated. It's not even safe when Jiraiya could beat base Naruto. Jiraiya has tried and he's failed over and over again. But with this, the paths of pain are beaten. Then Naruto finds Nagato. Nagato basically tells Naruto he's sorry, and then Naruto and him talk for a bit. Nagato wishes back anyone that may have died in those buildings collapsing. Not wishes back uses his abilities. But then Naruto takes out his eyes. Konoha asks what he's doing with these eyes, but he says what he needs to. Naruto then sees basically this flow of chocolate through his eyes and actually eats one of them. That's going on, thought it was gross as hell, but then she felt the chakra increasing in power. So Naruto will suddenly have his irises turn purple, but they don't expand into a Rinnegan. The power increased majorly. But went back to Konoha, then kind of shoved it in Sasuke's head. So, yeah. Now Sasuke and Naruto are forced to meet Hagoromo. Hagoromo bestows upon them the power that they would need. Now Naruto in base form is roughly around the same level as maybe I would say. He scales to roughly, I would say. He scales close to Jubito. Then in KCM 1, then Jubidara. KCM 2, well, he's a being that no one's ever fought before. Probably roughly around Bare Naruto level. Probably even beyond that. When this KCM 2 at 18-year-old Naruto. So, being that level is insane. But then he also has a secret form that he doesn't even need to use yet. Which is, well, Cosmic Naruto. I think Naruto's a whole new form. So yeah. This form honestly doesn't cost his life, or the Nine-Tails' life, as they're the same creature now. Even though Hagoromo was impressed that Naruto fused himself with the Nine-Tails. But yeah. But yeah. We can just go on now to probably just I would say I don't know. Probably just Team 7 when they have to like what probably be after this, because there's not much to do. Probably like the 5 Kage Summit. When Obito arrives, it's not going to be a fight. It's going to be a one-sided slaughter. So, I guess that happens. Obito is killed by Naruto. Even Sasuke, because Sasuke is roughly around probably the same level as Naruto. Not same level as Naruto. No, definitely not. I'd probably put him at a live Madara with Rinnegan and Hashirama thing in his chest. So, yeah, Sasuke around that level. Just because he doesn't have as much power as he did before. He doesn't have MS or anything. There's just one Rinnegan. But yeah. But eventually him and Itachi are both able to swap eyes, which forcibly awaken their MS, but then forcibly awaken the EMS too. So, yeah. But now with this, we go on past this to basically the moon thing, but Naruto doesn't take kindly to the planet almost being destroyed. So, here in the moon, he actually asks Kakashi, should he destroy it, or should he just push it back into its own orbit? Kakashi feeling just shocked that Naruto needed to ask that, just says, just push it into orbit again. Naruto's in the air, as kind of used KCM on one arm, made it so big that it kind of went around the moon, and threw the moon back into its own orbit, but held it there too, just so it stabilized. Then he appeared in the moon, and, well, he looked at Toneri. Toneri had the Tenseigan, but began fighting Naruto. Naruto swap hands, but it's not a fight at all. Naruto in base form is beating Toneri in literally every form Toneri tries to use. Even the whole moon cutting thing that he tries to use, Naruto put one hand and stop the whole blade. Not even a hand, it was a finger, stop the blade and flicked it into pieces. Which put his durability above planet busting. So, yeah. Or at least somewhat near life ending. So, yeah. Because it can cut the moon clean in half, I'd say his durability is passing the moon. So yeah. When he decides to kill Toneri with just dashing at him and hitting him in the chest so hard they kind of just caved in and then punched a hole clean through him. And tore his arm down, kind of cutting him clean in half. But not clean in half, very, very, very messily in half. But yeah, Toneri's dead. Naruto throws a Senseigan, and then we'll realize that these eyes are Hanabi's, but there's also a lot of lumber Byakugan on the moon. So with this, he kind of just ate Toneri's Tenseigan and just got a little more chakra in him. Walked around, finding some random corpse with Rinnegan, with Byakugan, taking them out, bringing them back to Hanabi. And, well, he was like, they don't have Hanabi's Byakugan, but he says, well, once Toneri was dead, or once Toneri was beaten, well, his eyes can be fading from existence, kind of just like they're tied to his spirit. The rest can't get Hanabi's Byakugan back, so she gets these new, stronger ones. So yeah, but they don't honestly just ate her Byakugan. But now Naruto eventually did become Hokage, so yeah, he became Hokage like a year after this event. He still has kids of Hinata, being Boruto and Himawari. But then we go on to Shin Uchiha, which isn't even an arc. Naruto heard about Shin Uchiha after forcing it out of Orochimaru, and then he sent Orochimaru to go kill Shin, and Orochimaru did. Then came the Sharingan and the body. Naruto kind of held on to those, so yeah, they're kind of destroyed away. And now we just go on past this to basically, we can go into probably just Momoshiki. But when Momoshiki arrived, Sasuke had already beaten Kinshiki, but not Momoshiki. And Momoshiki eventually had fused Kinshiki because he didn't die, he just beaten up. But Naruto just told Momoshiki that they should head somewhere else to have this battle. Momoshiki asked where, and don't have it be a trap. Naruto went to the moon, saying, there. Momoshiki can just ask Naruto if he can get there, but Naruto appeared on the moon, and Momoshiki sensed it and appeared there himself. Currently, Naruto in base form, he's washing fused Momoshiki. Momoshiki like, go all out. Go all out. I doubt you beat me in this form. If I'm gonna go all out, well, you're risking the stability of the universe. Naruto suddenly went in basically just cosmic Naruto form. Momoshiki being attacking Naruto. But Naruto just told Momoshiki that he asked for this. Suddenly everyone hears a loud shockwave. And Shockwave basically just sent out, almost hit Earth, they heard it. They go to the moon, we're not just simply flicked Momoshiki, and annihilated a few planets in the distance. Then he jumped back down to Earth, landed, and everyone would just wonder what this creature is until it turned back into Naruto. So yeah. Now with this, he said, alright then, on with the exams. So yeah. But, yeah. So you guys wondering how Naruto can have kids with these, like, clothes fused to him? He found a way to infuse them. So, yeah. It was honestly just him kind of defusing himself from the Nine Tails and then pumping one or two kids into Hinata, then fusing with the Nine Tails again. Yeah, it took him a long time to forcefully defuse from the Nine Tails. It took him a year to do so, but he did it. Yeah, eventually Jigen. When it came to basically just Kawaki and Boruto fight, and Boruto's currently roughly around Karma Seal Kawaki level in base form. He doesn't have a Karma Seal. Naruto just trained the man like a beast his whole life. Kamiki Mowari. As one, Naruto has all the gates. It is a taijutsu technique. You don't think he'd have it? He has this 7 heavenly breasts thing. He has that too. It's a taijutsu technique. Then he has his normal form, his hybrid form, his hybrid monster form. Then he has his 2 full monster forms. Then his cosmic Naruto form. But then also with that, he also has eaten a Rinnegan, 2 Tensegan. He's fused with the Tailed Beast. His base form itself is roughly pushing Ishiki to its limit. So, yeah. And that is his base form. He's pushing... This base form is roughly the same level as Barret and Naruto, and will throw him in the hands on equal terms. Even stronger than that if he wants to be. So, yeah. Because he's used to the Nine Tails permanently, but not permanently, temporary. Well, it's permanent until he doesn't want it to be. Marker is permanent, but then put some weapon marker over it, and then just erase it, and how it works. But yeah, so when it came to Jigen, he beats Jigen into the dirt with disrespect. By the time he's done, he decides to just go full on KCM, like full on Cosmic Naruto, just to show Jigen the gap in power. And keep in mind, Naruto's flick, the shockwave from that flick hitting Momoshiki, took out planets, multiple of them. And Naruto is currently in a whole different dimension. And he can copy those abilities, because Garou can copy those abilities too. But Naruto's stronger than Garou currently. So yeah. So Naruto look at Jigen, and Jigen's or Ishiki saying, if you hit me with that attack, you'll destroy the dimension, and you'll be trapped here. But Naruto showed a portal, he copied it, saying, nope, I will not be. But your spirit and everything else here will be left behind. As Naruto then says, normal punch and hits Ishiki with it, completely annihilating their whole dimension. But in a split second, Naruto opened a portal and stepped through it right as the punch had landed. So yeah. Oh, this he appeared again, and closed the portal before the explosion went through. But yeah, so about Ishiki and Naruto says, I destroyed the dimension. And everyone's jaw dropped, and they calmly said that. Then with this, we go on past this arc now, on to basically just code. And Ada and her brother, I forgot his name. But Naruto can throw hands at anyone that he wants to, or can trap them in a different dimension, which he does to Code. Or, well, Code in travel dimension, so he flat outright just goes KCM1 and kills Code. That's all he needs to kill Code. But then when it comes to Ada and her brother, Ada almost had Naruto and her genjutsu grabbed her by the head and just crushed it, completely killing her. Then he looked straight at her brother. He kind of her brother, only the damage is reflected back at him. But he's a tank, so it doesn't hurt him. But her brother's just if that had reflected you, you were blown away the whole base. But Naruto says, well, if like that, then how about this? Naruto immediately trapped him in a whole different dimension. So, yeah. But she got bored and just kind of started, I walked in and was like, I've been here for a year, how dare you trap me? And I was like, oh, I'm not here to get you out or to fight you. Naruto is laying in the air on the ground in full force, creating basically just mass destruction on the whole universe that they're instead of just dimension, just the universe, not dimension, the universe. The portal walked out, and brother just forced to face his whole damage, basically being killed by this attack. So yeah. With that, Naruto had killed Ishiki by destroying a dimension, and then killed Ida's brother by destroying a universe. So yeah. Now with this, they all live in peace. Boruto and Saruto can do the tradition of training his son to be a monster at birth. So, boom, bye.